Welcome to a case study of a real multifamily property. Today, we're going to take a look at a real property that we currently manage alongside our partners. In this video, we're going to use our UBIT calculator to analyze the performance over the life of the asset, and then we're going to extend our sights and look at the performance of a hypothetical portfolio over the course of multiple investment opportunities. Just a quick disclaimer, the results of our UBIT calculator are purely educational and should not be relied upon for tax guidance. Please consult a tax professional for official advice and guidance. With that said, let's begin with an intro to the project that we'll be covering. Today, we'll be talking about a portfolio of two properties that we own and operate in Lubbock, Texas. This was a great opportunity where we were able to acquire multiple assets that were just a block apart and then take them from smaller operations that were run individually and operate them with great economies of scale as one large operation that shares significant expenses. These types of creative solutions are exactly what we look for so that we can generate the performance that we'll see in this study. Let's start by taking a look at our UBIT calculator, which we supply our investors with for every property we purchase. The returns are split up from both a pre and post tax standpoint. And when I say post tax, I just mean UBIT, the taxes you pay in your IRA. When investing with non retirement cash funds, the landscape for income and capital gains taxes are so dynamic to each individual that you'd have to consult with a tax professional. Though with your retirement funds, our UBIT calculator can help you get a better idea of your take home returns. So in this case study, we're going to look at things from the perspective of a $100,000 investment. To start, let's take a look at the third line labeled member cash flow. This is the return issued to an investor directly from the property's rental income. You can see that for the first 4 years, it slowly increases as the property begins to bring in more income and be run more efficiently. In this deal, we plan to sell in year 5, which results in not just collecting rental income, but sharing in the proceeds from the sale of the asset. This line helps to illustrate things for two types of investors. For our cash fund investors, this showed the returns they received before paying any income tax obligations that they may have, which obviously vary with each individual circumstance. And for our solo 401k or eQRP investors, this line showed them their total returns. No taxes are paid in these types of accounts, so this is the final take-home result. Moving down 2 lines to UDFI taxes, this line is where all the number crunching of our calculator comes into play. These are the taxes that our self-directed IRA investors are expected to pay over the life of a project. By analyzing a number of different deals, we found that most opportunities present no UBIT in the first 3 to 4 years, as you see here. There is enough depreciation and initial operating expenses to offset any income, resulting in no taxes. Typically, the large tax bill comes upon sale, as we see here. The taxes on capital gains can be significant, though we'll take a look a bit further and discuss the impact this makes on the overall investment. Moving down to our return of capital line, here's where we see in year 3, $61,000 of the original investment is returned through a refinance, and in year 5, just under $39,000 is returned upon sale. Again, this is original capital, so no taxes are involved. This is money that can be instantly reinvested into another deal. Keep that in mind, and we'll come back to it shortly. Let's head to the total returns line, split up by pre and post UBIT. Again, the pre-UBIT line is for cash or solo 401k investors. The post-UBIT line is for self-directed IRA investors. As you can see here, the tax itself is a sizable amount, which reduces our returns from $114,000 to $84,000. And while that's a large chunk, what does that mean on an annualized basis? Well, let's head to our annual returns. Pre-UBIT returns sit at 22.9% annually over the course of 5 years, while IRR, which takes into account the time value of money, is right at 21.5%. Now it's time to focus on the effect that UBIT taxes had on a self-directed IRA investment. While taxes reduced annual returns by 6%, we are still realizing a return of 16.9%, which over the span of 5 years is still a great outcome. And when looking at IRR, we see that returns are even better, only being reduced by 4%. The lesson reduction here occurs because IRR focuses on time value of money. The return of capital in year 3 was completely unaffected by UBIT, meaning more capital is still back in the hands of an investor, even with a self-directed IRA. Well, let's take a look at an extended horizon to see what things look like just beyond the first project. So going through it again, we're seeing $61,000 of initial capital returned in year 3, with just under $39,000 returned in year 5. Let's say when the initial capital is returned in year 3, the limited partner invests that amount, as well as the cash flow they're currently seeing from years 1 through 3, back into an identical deal. And then we'll do the same after year 5, with the returned initial capital, cash flow from years 4 and 5, as well as the sale proceeds. In total, this will mean we've invested in 3 properties across an 11-year time span. Now, obviously, an identical deal wouldn't exist, but let's explore the power of looking for opportunities that offer an early refinance so velocity of capital is kept as high as possible, allowing an investor to partner in more opportunities over time. So, illustrated in dark blue, we have the growth seen in a self directed IRA over the 11-year time span, while illustrated in light blue, we have the returns for a solo 401k or eQRP. Right off the bat, we can see visually that UBIT did make an impact. But let's see what extended returns look like with a self directed IRA. Well, by year 11, the original investment of $100,000 has turned into more than $389,000. And over the 11-year time span, this works out to a 26.3% annual return. So even though we'll have to pay taxes on capital gains, passively investing as a Main Street investor with a self directed IRA still results in solid retirement growth. Now, if you're self employed and are able to invest through a solo 401k or eQRP, the original $100,000 results in over $526,000, which ends up being a 38% return annually for 11 straight years. Now, obviously, you can't expect returns to match this. This is simply a hypothetical, model based case study that I put together to show you the power of refinances. If you look to passively invest in deals that plan to focus on refinancing early on, this allows you to build that snowball effect faster and faster. The earlier that your initial investment is returned, the faster that you can be invested in two, three, or even four deals. Again, properly vet every investment opportunity that comes across your desk. You shouldn't expect these kinds of returns. There's never a guarantee that projects will go this well. But focus on the strategies that we laid out in this video, and that will be the key to your investing success.